Hello again, Steve here. I just thought of a way of approaching this topic that I've covered a couple times, looking at things on the bright side, right? And I came across this argument not long ago that if some group of people conquer somebody else's civilization, one of the things, if we're going to look at that, be honest with ourselves, we have to say the ones who are conquering were better than the ones who got conquered in some way, in the aspect of conquering, right? So I, that's probably important because we can translate that into our lives, because so often we'll have the tendency, or maybe I do, but if you're anything like me, of bitching and complaining about how some other people are putting one over on us, right? And if that's true, then hey, they're better than me, right? Uh, the New World Order, the ruling classes, the elites, the Illuminatis, whatever it is, hey, if that's true, they're better than us in that aspect. They've duped us pretty good. So perhaps one of the things we could try, rather than bitching and complaining about them, is try to learn from them. Not necessarily to do what they're doing, to try to rule other people, but to learn from their strengths, right? We can learn sometimes a lot from our enemies, and great warriors is to do that. They study their enemy. How can I learn? How can I learn from the strength of that, Um, I think it's more constructive, right? And, it's been fairly well documented in some cases that people who dominate over other people are smarter. So why are they smarter? Are they reading different books? Do they have different practices? Do they have different? Do they live a life? Is there something different about their life, their practice? Perhaps their slight edge is different. Perhaps they don't have as many vices. Perhaps they perhaps they don't have so many superstitions. I don't know. I really don't know. But certainly we can say, if we look at the whole thing as a game, right? We wouldn't say for a minute that we wouldn't deny for a minute, rather, that if you had a great hockey team that beat all the other teams, we wouldn't say, for after a while anyway, that they're not better. No, they're clearly better. They dominate everybody else. So surely if there's a class of people who rule everybody else, they're better at that. They're better at ruling. They're better at certain things. They got greater strengths in certain aspects of their lives. So from the positive aspect of it, or the constructive thinking side of things, is, hey, maybe we can learn from them. If we want to be better governors of ourselves in our lives, then maybe we can learn from these guys who can govern everybody else. What is it they do? It's not just the brute force. It's a lot of cleverness going on, a whole bunch of cleverness going on, which has infiltrated everybody. And I would say, but at the end of it all, they're better at that than we are. Because if somebody's ruling us, they're not only ruling their own homestead or whatever, they're ruling ours too. We can't even rule our own. So they're better than us in that aspect of ruling, I would say. Just like the team that dominates all the other teams. Something to think about anyway. Steve here again. Great chatting. Hope to do this again soon.